Welcome to Music for Film and TV, New Music Review Tuesday. Again, as I have started to do of late, I am trying to do more of some kind of theme for the show rather than just review random songs. And today we're going to focus on songs for film. Hey, we all dream of getting our music into film and TV as well as advertising and more, right? Well, it's been my main goal for my compositions and my productions for over 5 years now. And over the last few years, I've been lucky to sign with 3 exclusive libraries that deal with getting music into television and film. So today we will be talking about sync licensing from what we know from here, from what I know from here. And because like you, I am still on my journey to make music income in this area. So full transparency, I am still supplying music to sync libraries and waiting to see more placements. I've seen a few so far, but no income to speak of yet, as the songs are just getting into libraries. They're just now being used. And so it's such a long game that it may take a few years really before this takes off. And you might be saying, wow, I don't want to be working in something that's going to take years. Well, that's music, my friends. If you want to become good at anything, you're going to have to work on it over a course of years and not just weeks or months. It's not like stock music where you can put something in a library this month and maybe start to see some money next month. It'd be very small money, but you might see something. So I am still on my journey with music for film and music for television. So if you are also on this journey or would like to be and would like to see what happens with me, this whole channel is a complete experiment. Everything I do is experimenting on how to make music income. And so if you'd like to watch my journey, as soon as I find out something new that I'm going to be focusing on in making music, or I have some success in music for film and TV, I'm going to be talking about it on this channel. So make sure that you subscribe to this channel below and be part of what we're doing here at Make Music Income. So also, I would like to say to you today that if you have questions about music licensing, I'll try my best to answer them as we listen to different songs in between the songs. And you can kind of choose your own adventure here. I have some things I want to talk about as far as sync goes in between listening to some of these songs. But the main goal for all of these lives is for you to ask questions, for you to find out what you need to know about sync licensing and your music, because that's kind of the point of this whole show. All right, so let's just see who is here. If you are here today, let me know and say hello from wherever you are in the world, and tell me where you are in the world. That's always fun for me to know. Luca is in the house already. Hi to everybody. Hi, Luca. Good to see you. Arco, good to see you back, my friend. Hope everything is well with you. I know you've been doing some things. Would love to submit music. Well, I would love for you too. We'll do that probably next time. I'm pretty full up for today, so just keep watching the Discord and different things, and I will send out information about that. As a matter of fact, if you are interested in being part of this, make sure that you are on our email list, and you can do that by going to MakeMusicIncome.com and signing up for our email list. And I'll be sending out different things for when we do shows like this, Music Review Tuesday. And when I'm looking for certain things, you can also always send songs to MakeMusicIncome@gmail.com for future shows. However, now I'm kind of starting to ask people to make sure they send for specific shows. So again, just stay subscribed, be in our Discord. We'll talk about that in a little while, and we'll get your songs in different things. Hey, there is Matthias. Good morning from Daydream Studios. Ronan, good morning. A lovely morning in Los Angeles, I hope. Out there in LA, Matt, Lytle is here. Also, Malinez, hey, what's up? So everyone is here, so many people. Let's get to talking, and actually, why don't we just get to listening to our first song today? Our first song is by Wolfgang, and let me see if I get this just right. Wolfgang Woehrle. I am from Germany. I'm a music composer for some years now, doing mainly cinematic, orchestral, and pop rock music. I am selling my music on many different stock libraries like Audio Jungle, VFine Music, Pond5, Motion Array. I am also distributing singles and albums on Spotify through Songtrader, which works great for me. That's great to know. So for your Music Review Tuesday for Film TV Music, I sent you a cinematic orchestral track I did some time ago. I would be glad, very glad, if you could review it and give me some comments. Well, we will certainly do that. Wolfgang, thank you so much for sending. So let's just share that screen and let's go and listen and make sure we are hearing good stereo music as usual. We're working today with our Restream technology, and I just realized I don't have this playlist saved. So let's save this playlist as film and TV music. Okay, here we go. Saving that and sharing that. All right, here we go. Let's look at this song by Wolfgang. He's first up. It's called Last of the Light. And let's get there and take a listen to Last of the Light. All right, we should be seeing that. Let's take a listen. Sorry about that. I muted my mic so I could listen to what was going on. Yeah, very nice build there for sure, as White Beam says there. Daydream says, really nice music, well mixed. Luca says, I cannot hear you, Eric. You should be able to hear me now. I muted my audio because I want to check my sound. Everybody give me a thumbs up if you can hear me now. Arco says, would like to hear a break before the final part. Yeah, I mean, we did hear kind of a break at the end, and I think that, I mean, it feels like a trailer in some ways to me. I think, although it's not, it's a long build. My only thing about it is the fact maybe that it's pretty, that build seems to kind of go a long way without really doing much except building. Thank you, Luke. I like Arco. I'd probably like to hear a few more breaks in this. I think it would break it up. It would make it a bit more interesting. It doesn't necessarily have to be a trailer, but it just seems to go on with the same motif over and over again. And it's not that I think that that it's not effective and it's not beautiful and it wouldn't be great for a Game of Thrones type of thing. The horse can only ride so long before something happens, and it feels like that. I can see someone riding a horse from far away and moving, coming here, but that seems to be a little too far away to me. I don't know. That's just me. Anyone else have any thoughts about that? But yes, Arco says before everything enters, it seems like the dun 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 dun, that it just repeats ad infinitum, and it seems like it could be a little bit more broken up with some more things. Malinez says, could use a more epic finale, maybe. I think there are some hits and some things that could happen. I love the alternate themes you have in it. That's very beautiful. The horns, as Arco I think said, and I think it's just beautiful. And the sound, the quality is just epic. I mean, the quality is amazing. All your sounds. Would love to know what you're using for strings and what you're using for all of your sounds, but everything sounded super pro to me as far as what I could hear in my headphones. Anyone else have any thoughts on that? But very good job, Wolfgang, and it sounds like you are well on your way to creating really great music here for film and television. So great start to today's listen, and I hope those of you who are listening will continue to be thinking about questions that you might want to ask about sync and TV and film music. And Daydream Studio says, really nice music, well mixed. I would agree with that. That's probably the biggest takeaway that I get from this. Luke says, definitely agree with you, Eric. The strings are very good quality. I would say adding piatti and cymbals to help with transitions would help. Yeah. Just basically adding some more emotion, some more transitions, some more builds, I think, and I just think it seems to go on too long without adding things. But beautiful piece, and I think in general everything is very well done, and very impressed by what you've done there, Wolfgang. All right, so if there's no more chat here, here's Wolfgang, yay. Wolfgang says, thank you very much for this review. For strings, I use Albion 1. Boy, I want Albion 1 so bad. Of all the Albions, I still want Albion 1, to be honest with you. So for that very reason, they just sound so darn good. I'm going to have to get Spitfire to do some sponsors. As a matter of fact, I'm trying to look for sponsors right now for this channel. One of them I'm considering is DistroKid, since I use them, and I think all of us need to work harder on getting our music out to Spotify. It's something that I've been working on a little bit more. I know my friend Stevie B is also working on this right now. Everyone would like to do this, but Spitfire would be a great. I would love to have them as a channel partner of some kind. But if you are watching this Spitfire, we want to talk about Albion One and all your great products here on this channel. So hit us up. But yeah, Albion One, I would love to have that too. Matt says, I think Albion One is 40% off right now. Oh, Matt, don't tell me that. Don't tell me that. I get paid this week. I will be in big trouble if I buy that. Arco says, Wolfgang, that's one of the great string libraries. Yeah, it really is. It's just so classic. And, you know, that kind of sound never goes out of date. Sometimes you'll get a plug-in or some kind of something that you use sound-wise, and it just, a year later, it sounds dated, you know. But that one I don't think will ever go out of date for that very reason that we just heard right there. Albion One will always be a popular sound. Daydream says, I prefer CSS. They have so lovely vibratos. CSS is, explain what CSS is. I'm not getting that that right now. It's not coming to me what CSS is. But I love all the Spitfire stuff. I own quite a few Spitfire things. So, all right. Well, let's move on a little bit. Cinematic Studio Strings. Who makes that, Luke and Daydream? I'm always interested in new studio string libraries. I sometimes feel like I have enough to get by because I don't do that kind of stuff. But Wolfgang says Cinematic Studio Strings. Yeah, who makes Cinematic Studio Strings? Does anybody know? I end up using a lot of different string things that I have and mixing them, but I don't have anything on that next quality level. And Albion One is kind of, I was so close. I was this close to buying Albion One, but I ended up buying solo cello and some other originals thing, Intimate Strings, I think, which turned out to be really good buy because Intimate Strings is now my stock, stereo string pad type of thing. I think it's really good. All right. Well, if anybody knows who makes Cinematic Studio Strings, what company, just put that in the comments. And we're going to move on here. I want to talk a little bit about what genres, or at least I want to talk about first about my music in sync. And so far, I have had music with 3 different libraries and work in quite a few genres. Now, I was just watching my friend Jesse from Sync My Music last night, and one of the main things he pointed out 10 different things that mistakes he sees. And the first mistake he sees, the very number one, I think, was doing too many genres. Now, personally, I do a lot of genres, but that's only because I've been a music producer in Nashville for about 2 decades now, and I work on lots of different genres as part of my job. So it's not like my personal music is, my personal music would be more jazz and piano based, but because I've produced so much, I can pretty much pick any genre or library or whatever, or album that my library might need, and I can start working on that. So, for instance, I'm working on different genres, but I've been a music producer for decades in Kentucky, and then in Nashville for since about 2005, and now in Orlando. You may want to focus on the genre that you've been working on, and are good at. But generally, I think almost all genres could work for music libraries that are needing music for film and television, which is kind of the way I focus. I focus personally on getting music to music libraries where music supervisors and those people that are looking for the right songs for a TV show or for a scene, for a film, can find them. I know a lot of other people who say that the music library game is not fast enough for them. They want to go right to the music supervisor. I think that's a harder game, because you're trying to get the attention of one person who hundreds of people that day are trying to get their attention. And I would rather be found by someone who is looking for what I'm offering and what the library I'm offering has, than try to knock down somebody's door to get them to hear one song to hope they need it for whatever use. That's just my personal take on the way I approach sync. It's not for everybody, but that's just the way I kind of see it. Okay, Cinematic Studio Springs is by Cinematic Studio Series, the company. Okay, well, I don't know much about that thing. Daydream also says, Wolfgang, I've heard a lot of your stuff, and I find you're definitely on the right way. So good job, Wolfgang, in showing us that first piece. It really shows off the fact that you understand the drama, and especially, and this is going to be something I bring up here later, the quality. You have, in the world of stock, you can play a lot of different quality games for different libraries. Pond 5 might be lower quality in general than Audio Jungle. Audio Jungle might be lower quality in general than Motion Array. And Motion Array might be generally lower in quality than, let's say, Artlist, which also owns Motion Array. So, but I think quality is going to be the thing, and Wolfgang, you definitely showed that in your first song today. All right, so let's go to another song here. I want to listen now to Past, Present, and Future. This song is by Mike Hawks, who is new to our channel. Mike, thank you very much for being part of it today. Let's see, how do I do? Oh, there we go. And so let's listen now to Mike Hawks and Past, Present, and Future. Are we ready? Here we go. Very nice. Yeah, that has a very, very unique type of sound there, Mike. I should tell you, everyone, that Mike told me that let me go to my email here from Mike. Mike says, I love your YouTube channel and just found it last month. I'm a veteran guitar player, that in the last few years switched to DAW or on GarageBand. How about this, folks, doing all of this on GarageBand? I'm in Arizona, so I'm not sure I'm in your time zone to hear your Tuesday review live. Most of my stuff is guitar, instrumental, Joe Satriani style, or surf instrumental. Surf instrumental, cool. A lot of use for surf instrumental, actually, in TV and stuff. I'm curious to see if this track has movie or soundtrack capabilities. Thank you for all you do. Mike also says down, and this won't surprise anyone, that he plays in a Journey tribute band and does Neil Schon guitar. So that does not surprise me at all, and probably doesn't surprise anyone else. Let's see who's joining us. Angel, good afternoon, or over there in Bulgaria. Yeah, Luca says, Mike, admit it, you're Steve Hackett in disguise. Yeah, sure does. And Matt Lytle says, great guitar tone and great Lydian feel. Yeah, it really is. And if you're watching this later on there, Mike, I think this certainly has a lot of possibilities for film and television. I think in some ways this could sound almost retro a little bit, since you do have a little bit of that Journey / Asia / a Toto guitar sound, Steve Lukather guitar sound type thing going on. It could be a retro type of track. It could be maybe something that was in something like Stranger Things, the TV show from the 80s. That's the beautiful thing about television and film. But those two areas where we are pitching to, there are lots of television shows and lots of movies that are based in the 70s or the 80s or the 60s or the 50s or the 90s. And so that's what's kind of changed the game a little bit for me, as far as when I think about music for television and music for sync, is that there is no outdated music anymore. There is nothing that can't be used. I get requests all the time for stuff recorded in the 90s, recorded in the 70s. They literally want sounds that were recorded back then, that sound like they were made in that era, or actually were made in that era. I just had a whole album of songs by a friend of mine named Mike, who that his whole album sounded like 1980s country demos in Nashville. They didn't even sound like full, really masters. They sounded more like demos. And that was accepted by a library just because people might want that for like a jukebox sound in the background or something. So crazy, anything could be accepted. But for sure, I think something like this could be could be there. And Mike is here. Good to have you here, Mike. Dude, I think that the guitar sound is awesome. You know from the first note that your guitar sound is on point. And I'm just, so you're doing all of this in GarageBand. To me, that's worth points right there. I don't do winners and losers on this show, but if I was picking a winner, you might get points, just like Wolfgang got before you, points for his quality of sounds. You get points for quality of guitar sound, but also doing it on freaking GarageBand. See, this just shows you folks that, and also I was watching a video by Jesse on Sync My Music. He talked about this last night. You know, libraries don't care what DAW you work on. You could be working on Fruity Loops or GarageBand or free Cakewalk or Cubase. They don't care, as long as it sounds amazing. And again, like I said, I think this fits more in the kind of retro sounding type of track. So if someone is looking for, like I said, Stranger Things is the show that comes to mind the most, just because I watch that one, but you might know a show that's based in the 80s that uses this type of guitar tone and stuff, but needs that. It's almost very, it's a background kind of orchestral, even though it's not really orchestral, it's more synths and stuff. Again, 80s was big on that. So certainly you could maybe bill yourself, if this is going to be a focus for you, if sync is going to be a focus for you, film and television, then maybe you're focusing on stuff that has a sound from the 80s and 90s, because I'm telling you, people are wanting that, and that is something that is popular. So definitely it's something I would look into. So that kind of leads us into my next thing here. What genres work in sync. And this is what, again, last night I watched a video by Jesse, and he talked about you can't do all genres. But he did talk about this. All genres really work. It doesn't matter if you are doing orchestral stuff like Wolfgang's doing, almost trailer in nature, or you're doing something that sounds like it could be a mid to late 80s soundtrack, guitar-based soundtrack song with synths and great guitar. It doesn't matter. It's needed for some show, some film, some scene is needing that song. Just about any genre. Tension. If you do tension type music for mystery or action shows, we've had tension cues on this broadcast before. Dramedy for reality shows. Stevie B just did a whole thing about dramedy you can find on his channel. Love songs for dramatic scenes. Trailer music for trailers. I've done everything from Latin jazz I've had accepted by libraries. I've had pop, very positive pop songs, Christmas classical music. I've had classical piano, like Mozart and Bach and different piano movements and different things like that accepted by libraries. Country. I've had country. As a matter of fact, right now I'm working on a contemporary country album for one of my libraries. I've already placed another contemporary country library on another contemporary country album on another library last year. And so this year I'm placing another one. Not that I love to do country, but I do know the people who do it well in Nashville. So I will likely move also to a vocal contemporary Christmas album that is both suggested by one of the libraries that I work with, and I just like to do contemporary Christmas music. So every library needs and wants something different from the people, for the different people coming looking for songs. I mean, every library is going to need something different. And so whether they are looking for something for a film, for television, for an advertisement, for a video game, they're going to come to libraries looking for every genre. So whatever genre you work in, it's certainly one that you can find a library that needs it. Search for that library, find out what the library needs. Once you make that relationship, they will tell you what they are needing, especially once you get into conversation with them. All right, so let's see what else we got. Matt says, I had submitted a cinematic song for today. I don't see it on the list. I just want to make sure you didn't miss anything. Well, let's see if I have you in my email, Matt. No, Matt, I do not see that email. Let me, I'll look into my junk email here real quick, just to see if it went to spam for some reason. I don't see it. We'll see if I have time to put that in. If you want to send that again, I'll see if I have time at the end for that. So speaking of that, we better get listening to some more music. And I hope this has made some sense so far for what we're talking about. Daydream says, is it only me? There are a lot of audio interrupts. Can't do anything about everybody's audio. I can try turning off the higher, I got really high audio type of thing. I'm going to try turning that off for a little bit. You should still be able to hear stereo. See if this works and helps the interrupts from this point on. Daydream, let us know. All right, so let's move on to our next song. And our next song is going to be by Luca. And I have no idea how to get this, what looks like Latin pronunciation, but let's just go on over there to it and take a look at this song from Luca that's called Vivet in Aeternvm something. You can read it. We'll see what it sounds like and see how it goes. This is from Luca, and I'm trying to get, I don't see me in there, but I don't need to be in there. So here we go with Luca's song. Okay, that's really interesting, Luca. Very, yeah, Arco said it well. Very mysterious. Certainly, it has a lot of emotion. It was pretty loud on my end. Um, Luca says, Daydream Studios, it means he'll live forever. So, yeah, very menacing. A lot of tension in that. Could be something for it sounds to me somewhat Middle Eastern, perhaps. That's something I would hear in The Mummy, or what was that show I just watched, Moon Knight. I don't know if anybody watched that show on Disney, but it was very cool. Um, so I love it, says Giacomo. Thank you. Um, yeah, it's very cool. I think my only thing is this also seems like it could use some stops or something in it versus the continual movement of the continual motif that it keeps spinning over and over. Um, Almost like there could be a stop somewhere. This feels a little bit um, on the I don't know, trailery side to me. Arco says detective show, maybe. It feels a little bit too I don't know, too ethnic or so to be on a detective show. It seems like something that would be more on a bigger, broader movie type thing. Um, I will let you know also, and I hope that. Um, Thanks for that clarification. Seems I was totally wrong. Well, I hope that. Tell me if the audio improved or got worse. That I will tell you that song in my headphones sounded a little bit. I'm not sure the mix is complete on that one. It sounded a little loud. It sounded a little mono in parts in places. And so, if you were listening on your end and it sounded different than the other songs we've heard today, which were a little bit more spread out in their spectrum, I feel like it there's more panning maybe that could be done in something like this to make the ears hear a little bit more there, Luca. Um, yeah, perfect for opening titles of a creepy video game. Yeah, maybe I could see that. I could see horror or other kinds of creepy type sound. Again, to me, I just got done watching this whole series of Moon Knight, which is set in Egypt and the pyramids and everything. So this is what I hear when. No, yeah, I know it's not mono. Yeah, but it's loud. You're right. And Whitebeam says sometimes the music stutters during these live streams. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not really sure what to do about that. I'm not even using Wi-Fi. I'm using my straight to thing, so it might have something to do with this restream technology. I don't know if other people are using this for music, and so I may have to take a look at that. And again, the main part of this show is for you to have an idea of what the music sounds like. And so I will put in the description below the full disco playlist for you to go listen to and listen to in glorious stereo for yourself. Lucas says it's in stereo and very panned. Okay. Daydream says, I agree, Eric. My feeling too much in the lower mids, a bit muddy in the mix. Sorry to say that, Luca. I mean, these are, I think as long as we are positive, Arco said there could be more stereo spread, though. And I think this could just, sometimes our ears, we listen on speakers and we mix it one way, and then we listen on headphones and we go, wow, that could be mixed differently. I would just give this another mix. I would continue to work with it. I think all the elements are there, and I think it's beautifully written. I don't think that's the problem. But I think that we all, and I have to do this too, we all have to figure out how to best, try to figure out how to mix two of the best. I am not the best at it, and many times would rather someone else mix my things so that my ears, which have been developing the music the whole time, can hear it more correctly. So since the stuttering is still happening, I'm going to go ahead and change my audio settings back to back to high resolution audio. And just to make sure that I'm sending out in the best, if you're going to have stutters, you might as well hear it. You might have stutters with super high resolution audio. Hopefully that changes things as we go. I'll continue to experiment with this. I am looking at some other packages, but I really love this Restream and how the chat works and how I'm able just to put captions up and things like that. And so I really love how this works. So let's talk for a minute. We've heard several songs. Now, how do we get those songs into libraries? Almost everyone asks this question. How do I find music libraries to pitch music for film and television? And there are really great resources for this. My friend Jesse at Sync My Music has a great directory of libraries that I highly suggest. You can find that on his page, syncmymusic.com. And also, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already, because I am going to be doing and devoting a whole edited video coming up here in the next few weeks, completely focused on how to find music libraries to pitch your music to. Now, this will be for sync libraries, this will be for stock libraries, but and I'm also going to be revealing a new ebook that I wrote on stock libraries, and it will not be a course, it will be an ebook, because the freaking stock music world changes too fast to make a course on. You'd have to be changing and updating that video course every week. So be notified of future live streams, but also of when I do come out with new videos. Subscribe, because I am going to be putting out this video. And I've done a video already about how to find music libraries, but this one is a little bit more focused and will include, as I said, the announcement of my new ebook on how to find music libraries, especially in stock music libraries. All right, let's look at the chat here. Arco says, some positive things in my side is I did a live show after a long time. Good job. Good job. Michael, about Luca's track, said, I love this track and the slight scary vibe to it. Yeah, it certainly does. To me, again, it has that kind of cinematic tension to it. So good job on that, Luca. All right, well, let's go ahead and listen to another tune here. And let's now go to, and Matt, by the way, if you're still following us here, I did find your song, and I'm going to try to stick it in here. So let's go ahead and go back to this. The next song is going to be from Thoren, and Per sent us something called The Last Stand. So let's go ahead and go to The Last Stand right now and take a listen. No, I don't want to share that screen. Let's share this screen. And let's listen to The Last Stand. Oh, you're not hearing The Last Stand. Only I'm hearing The Last Stand. Hold on a second. Let's try that again. All right, let's see if we've got that up. I don't see it up there. And there we go. Now, let's listen to The Last Stand by Thoren. Very nice ending. I am going to turn down the volume a little bit, just so you know, not on me, but on the track. So that might be why we're getting some feedback. Seems like last week I pulled the volume down, and that helped a little bit because I can really put the volume up or I can bring it down. So I'm going to pull the volume down on the rest of these. So yeah, very nice, very... it seems like one of those scenes in a movie where there's a funeral or there is a military, perhaps, service where people are gathered for a very solemn event. The lone trumpet and the snare drum and things like that, I think, really add to the mood. Daydream says, I love the mood and the composition. Matt says, it reminds me of Chinatown with that solo trumpet. Interesting. And Arco says the piano is really great. So everybody likes different parts of this. Daydream, I would try to reduce the reverb a bit on the trumpet. I would imagine the reverb on the trumpet is to hide this trumpet sample because it sounds fine, but yeah, without the verb on it, I can't tell if it's a really great sample or a sample that you're trying to hide the sometimes, you know, when you don't have the greatest sample, you will add verb to it to try to hide it a little bit, and I kind of felt that was what was going on here. Matt says the track sounds great. The only real critique I have is that the trumpet sample sounds a little off, especially on the attack. Yeah, I would say the trumpet sample is not my favorite. And again, Daydream, I think that's one reason why he was using all that verb. I think it was a lot just to hide the sound of that trumpet, which is fine, but not great. And which is kind of something I want to get into next on today's show is quality in sync. I heard it described this way on our Discord this week. And by the way, if you're not in our Discord, you need to be on our Discord and be talking in there about these things. We're having conversations daily about all of these things, about sync licensing, about stock, about Spotify, about different samples, all sorts of things related to making music income and making music we're talking about in our Discord. You can find that in the description below of this video. But I heard it described by someone this week that it's just a short little saying. It's A sides to sync, B sides to stock. I'm actually going to copy that and put it in the notes because I just really felt like that was kind of a quote that I liked. And I feel this way exactly. I had never thought of that before, but it's exactly how I figure out what I am going to send to my higher end sync libraries and what stuff I will be sending over to stock. That my best stuff, my highest produced stuff that I produce in Nashville, that I use Nashville singers and players and engineers and all that stuff, and all the music centers, LA singers and different things like that. That is for my sync stuff. That is for my sync libraries. And the stuff that I create here in my own studio is the stuff that I use to send to stock libraries. And so I love this saying, A sides to sync, B sides to stock. Here is pair right here. It says, it is the New Orleans trumpet, which is free and probably good, but I'm just learning how to use it. Yeah, I think it sounds fine, but I think for if you are trying to get this into film and television, you might need to, Matt said right above that, he said, the great trumpet by New Orleans Sample. So it is the New Orleans trumpet. And again, some of these sounds are hard to figure out how to use. But again, quality is going to be your thing. You know, you might consider doing something drastic like hiring a trumpet player. Hiring a trumpet player on SoundBetter or on Fiverr or someplace, and finding stepping up to that next level, folks, is what we have to do with our stocks, with our stuff for sync libraries, for our stuff for film and television. This isn't Pond 5 we're sending it to. It's not Motion Array we're sending it to. These aren't for people to use in music videos on YouTube. This is for broadcast television to use these songs. This is for films that are going to be in movie theaters. This is not whatever we can get by with here in our studio. That's why I really have something to say about quality in sync. I am extremely stingy and I will wait months, if not years, to have the right song sound. I've worked with partners to their chagrin about how long it takes to make a song. And I will make that song however it needs to be made, and we'll go over versions and versions until we get it right. We will use the right sounds and the right personnel and the right whatever it takes to get the right sound for television, broadcast television, Netflix. This is not YouTube videos that people are going to put our music in the background while they talk. This is the main event. This is big time. We have to think high quality. For stock, I can create that all right here. I really don't care. I mean, that trumpet would be fine for most stock things. I think for the next level, if we're going to be talking about broadcast television and feature films, we're going to have to do what they do. Guess what they use? They use the London Symphony Orchestra. Yes, I know you can't afford that, but you're going to have to sound like you did. And it's going to have to take this kind of quality. I have had some things, admittedly, accepted to sync libraries that I created here myself, but they were probably solo piano things. I have very high-end piano solos. And so, I just think that this is something that we get confused, that we can just create stuff like we send to Motion Array, and that's going to be okay for sync libraries, and it's not. It is definitely not. Things have to be richer. Things have to be higher quality. Things have to be more dimensional. Mixes have to be right and professional and high-end. We just have to do it at the highest quality we can, and if our highest quality is not good enough, then maybe we have to find another trumpet sound. Maybe we have to spend some money on a better trumpet sound. Maybe we have to hire a real trumpet player. I told a class of students yesterday, the secret of my success has been hiring people. I sound great, and my things sound very professional because they're done by amazing 20-year veterans in the music business and mixed by Grammy winners. There's not much way you can go wrong when you're able to spend that money. I know you're looking at me right now on this video going, I can't afford that. Well, then you might not be able to afford to play in this game. I'm not trying to be hard or trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be real with you, that you are up against the top players and highest quality people in the world when trying to get into film and television, and you need to be ready for that. This is not to discourage you. This is to encourage you to move to the next level and be prepared to do what it takes to get to that next place. All right, so after that sermon, let's move to another song here. We're going to now listen to Luke's song, What Was It Worth This? And Matt, just FYI, I'm still trying to get your song up there. I'm going to take this, try to listen and put it up there as we go here. So this is Luke Chiocca, am I saying that right? With Was It Worth This? Let's go and listen to that right now. All right. Are we up? We're up. Here we go. Very nice. I just want to listen to something, Luke, here real quick. And I also want to listen to something back on Thoren's Pear's song here. The only reason I'm doing that is because I heard some cracks. Very nice. Very, very nice. Yeah, I agree. I'd love to know what strings those are. I love the fact that the songs are so, it's such a dramatic thing. I can see this in a film where two lovers are parting. It's so very dramatic, as Luca says. And yeah, Matt, I agree. Very wonderful dynamics. The way that you, Luke, the way that you really brought these strings in and out, it sounds so natural and so real. Very, very good sound. Strings were just beautiful. I'd love to know what strings they are. Walt Williams says, can anyone recommend a great sounding horn library? Not orchestral though. So Matt, Walt, do you mean something more in the like horn section library for like big band horns? What kind of horns are you talking about? Because that could be a lot of things. Not orchestral. Might be interesting. Luke says, I use Cinematic Studio Strings. So Cinematics, yeah, now I know what they sound like for sure. They're very nice. I've not really heard about these before. Maybe, obviously, other people have. Although I am not a scoring composer, so to speak, I use strings as background instruments sometimes, or have done a few orchestral type things, but most of the time I am doing more jazz or piano-based things. So yeah, very beautiful, Luke. Love the swells, and I think this is absolutely down the path of what a film or a television show that's very dramatic, something like some kind of historical piece or something like that, where there is some kind of emotional turmoil going on. This certainly sounds like that would fit a scene like that. And that's what we're talking about with all of these songs. Can you imagine the scene that these songs fit? What do they fit? Something emotional. It's like Arco says here. These are things that fit something very emotional. And this is what the whole idea behind licensing for film and television shows is about, is really touching the emotions that are needed at that time in that scene. So that's kind of what we're listening to today. Luke says, thanks, Eric. I appreciate the feedback. Emotional turmoil was exactly what I had in mind. Yeah, I can just see this in maybe not something like something that's super dramatic, something that is super drama, not a funny show, or even something, not even something like Bridgerton, but something more like I don't know, what's a movie, the original title was going to be A Past of Regret. Yeah, I was it worth this? Yeah, was it worth this is a little specific. Regret is great. I think, to me, again, this is just the way I see it. Everybody can say what they think here in this thing, but I see it as something where people are there is emotional turmoil because there is parting, there is a leaving of each other. People are yes, there's regret, but it's because of a forced or an emotional need to separate, especially to people who love each other and who have to separate for some dramatic reason, which is always the case in TV or film. But this really strikes me as something that would go in something more broad and dramatic and grand in scale to me. All right, so to keep this show moving here, let's go ahead and listen to another song. Let's now listen to OneNail is from our Discord, and let's read what he had to say to me here in email. And I'm sorry, my name is Serjan Milovanovic. How about that? Pretty close. OneNail. No wonder you go by OneNail. He is from Serbia, and he says, I send you this track for music review for film and TV. This track will not be for non-exclusive deal, but it will be exclusive. I just don't know where yet. What publisher is most fitting? Hope the comments on this track will help me to know if it is good enough. Well, let's listen to this song by OneNail. It is called Begin Again. Wow. I really am impressed by this. Let me show you one thing here, and let me just see if I can There we go. I'm back. Okay. I was trying to figure why I didn't want to interrupt the stream. There was one place that I thought this is the only place in this song that I see for improvement, personally. So let's listen to this part right here. I like those drums, but I feel like that could be bigger. I don't know why. I just feel like that that particular song could definitely be bigger in its build, or the drum sounded a little thin for what it's trying to do there. I mean, it does the trick, but I just felt like, man, that could have really like almost Phil Collins, like we listened to Phil Collins recently in class talking about that thing, and it really feels like that something could have happened that just is bigger drums, bigger, almost timpani type of roll, and a big kind of build slash riser there could really help that moment. This particular thing, and I don't know if I've lost the stream here or if no one has just commented, but what is really crazy for me about this song is this really is what I've been talking about on several of the other songs, where it seems like a lot was going on, but there wasn't any change. There was the same thing over and over again. And what I love about this song is the changes that happened. Things slowed down, things started up again, things came to a small. It wasn't trailery. It was just it had spots where things changed and then grew again and then blew up at the end, and just really nice. Love the way all the little elements are in this song. So very good job, OneNail. Really appreciate you sending this song in, because it kind of crystallizes my thoughts on how to do something that is, has a similar motif going on, but is really different there. So if you're in the chat, hey, put something in the chat, because I haven't seen anything here in a little bit, and everybody seems to have frozen a little bit. And it might be my chat. I don't know. But if you are still here, let me know what you thought of this song. And for sake of time, because I've got a hard out at 12:30, I'm going to go ahead and go to the last song here. Just making sure that everybody is still chatting, and still here with us. We're just about done. We're now going to listen to Matt Lytle's song. If the chat's just working and I'm not seeing it. No, I don't see any chat over there. So looks like the stream is still going as far as I can tell. So let's now listen to the last song of the day. And this song is by Matt Lytle. It's called Slow Burn. So let's go and listen to that song now by Matt Lytle. Yeah, very cool. Very cool indeed. Yeah, it would seem to me that there is a few things about this song. It certainly is a slow burn, perhaps maybe too slow. Um, it's only 3:14, so it's not that long. It seems like that we've got some weird mode things happening. That might turn some people off. It doesn't turn me off because I'm a mode kind of guy. I like modes. I like using different notes that people aren't expecting. However, that might not be what libraries are expecting. They may want something a little bit more, I don't know, more consistent with modern modes. I'll tell you, there is one problem I see in this, Matt, and that at the very end there's a little bit of dun 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 dun, little Star Wars motif action happening at the very end. You might want to change that just to make sure. It's not that John Williams never stole from anyone, but you might want to be careful with that for this particular composition because that is a well-known motif that might, in fact, mess with it being accepted into a library. It also sounded like when it gets big at the end that it's a little bit, I don't know how to say it. It's a little bit, it almost sounds like it's not peaking or it's just slamming that limiter so much that it is very, very dense. And I think that it while it sounds great and I love some of the choices you've made modally. Again, that is going to be a desired taste. It's not going to be for everybody that you get that kind of love for that kind of thing. So yeah, I think that in general it sounds great, and it certainly has the, I don't know, the orchestral type of thing. Is the slow burn too slow? Would be my only question. Is the stuff happening in the last big section too squashed? Because it almost sounds like it's distorting a little bit, but it's not because of the limiter, but it is because of the limiter. So that's just my thoughts there. Well, it looks like our chat has definitely frozen up, and because I know you guys are probably saying all sorts of stuff right now, but it's not appearing in any of the chats that I see here. Just to kind of wrap up this whole thing about sync, I appreciate everyone who has sent in songs today, and I apologize for any technical issues, but really out of my control. And really, I want you to learn from these songs, from the information that I have provided here, from the stuff that I have said about where I think things are going with sync licensing and where I think things are going with film and television and where I think all of these songs kind of fit. And if for some reason your chat was frozen and you didn't get to say what you want to say, make sure you just leave comments in the video below as soon as this video is over. I've really enjoyed doing these more focused Music Review Tuesdays. Tell me what you think of that in the comments below. If you've hung in so far, I appreciate it. If you've had to leave because for technical issues, I apologize for that. But just shoot us a comment down below of what you think of any of these songs. Once I get done with this, I will go and put the actual disco playlist in the description below, so you can go and listen back through the tunes and see what you think, and make sure to comment on any of those tunes that anything you might have had to say that for whatever reason you weren't allowed to say because of the chat issues or anything like that. All right, well, everybody, thank you so much for watching. It's been a joy and a pleasure to listen to your songs today. I hope I've given you some thoughts that might help you either in your songs or in just talking about music licensing in general. Luke says, I think a big takeaway for me was that film music is so diverse. Just a good reminder for sure, Luke. It is big, it is dramatic, it is scene based. Remember that. It is based on the scene of what you're doing, and not just a song is good for film or television in a general way, but can this be used in a scene? What kind of scene can you imagine all of these songs would fit a scene in a TV show, broadcast television show, or a movie. What does it fit? And that's something to think about. All right, everyone, I'm going to sign off here, and I just want to say thank you to everybody who has been part of this today, everyone who's been part of the chat, everyone who has brought in songs. Just thank you so much, and thanks for watching. If you're watching on the replay, I hope you've enjoyed yourself and had a lovely beverage while you listen to some songs. I know I have. So we'll talk to you next time on New Music Tuesday. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys in the next broadcast. Thanks for the live, Eric. You're welcome, Luca. Thank you for being part of it. Everybody, thanks so much for being here. Wave goodbye. I'm going to end the stream now. And everybody have a great day, a great Tuesday, and we'll talk to you next time.